Welcome to the lecture series on Python. In today's class, we are going to focus on what is platform independent and why Python is said to be platform independent, and let us see how it is achieved. First, we'll look at the implementation of Python programming language. Python is implemented in different programming languages. Depending upon that, there are different types of Python available. So one is C Python. In this, Python is implemented in C language. And we have IronPython, where Python is implemented in .NET. And we have Jython or JPython, in which Python is implemented in Java. Then we have PyPy. Here, Python is implemented in a language known as RPython. This RPython is a subset of Python programming language. And C Python is the default implementation of the Python programming language. And we have downloaded Python from the official website, python.org. And that Python is C Python, where Python is implemented using C language. First, we'll look at some basic terminologies. First one is source code. Source code is nothing but a program written in high-level language like C, C++, Python, and so on. And this program is similar to English only, but it will follow the syntax of a particular programming language. Our computer cannot understand the source code. What the computer can understand is only the binary data, which is nothing but zeros and ones. So machine code is nothing but it is binary code that can be directly executed by the CPU without any further translation. So when we write the program in the source code, we need to convert that into machine code. For that, we need a software. That software is nothing but system software. Here it is the compiler. So the compiler is going to convert the source code into machine code. First, we'll see what is platform dependent and what is platform independent. So before that, we will focus on what is platform. Platform is nothing but it is the basic hardware and the operating system on which the application software can run. So the combination of this hardware and the operating system is generally termed as platform. And when we say that a programming language is platform dependent, it means that the program execution depends upon the operating system and the underlying hardware of our machine. So the languages like C, C++ are said to be platform dependent programming languages. And in case of platform independent, the program execution is independent of the operating system and the underlying hardware of our machine. And this platform independence follows something known as ORA. ORA stands for write once, run anywhere. It means that you can write your program in one platform and you can take the program and you can run in different platforms. And the programming languages like Java, Python comes under this particular category. First, we'll see how C is said to be platform dependent. Both C, C++ are platform dependent programming languages. Let us consider C as an example. When we consider C program, first we will assume that we are going to compile the C code. When the C source code is compiled, compiler is going to generate a .exe file. And this .exe file is operating system dependent. Now, when we try to run this .exe file on another operating system, then it will not run. So the reason for this one is this .exe file is platform dependent. Hence, it is not compatible with other platforms. Here, platform is nothing but the underlying architecture of the machine along with the operating system. Now, let us consider this particular example. So first, I have a machine where in Windows OS is installed. Then I have a C compiler. And first, I'm taking the source code. Let me assume that I have a C program which contains some statements. And the file name is test.c. First, I'm compiling this particular program in this machine. The machine is having Windows OS now. When I compile, it will generate a exe file. So here the file name is text.c. I'll be getting a exe file test.exe. And this test.exe is a executable machine code file. So it means that you can directly take this exe file, you can execute in some other machine. Now, let us see how we are going to execute this. First, I have this test.exe file. I can execute this file in a machine which is having Windows operating system. I'll be able to execute in this. Whereas, if I take this test.exe file and if I try to execute that in a machine with Linux OS, I'll not be able to execute. The reason is I have compiled it and generated the exe file in a machine with Windows OS. So I can run in a machine with Windows OS. I cannot run the same exe file in a machine with Linux OS. Whereas if you consider the source code, that is the source code test.c, you can take the source code, you can execute that in both Windows as well as Linux. But the exe file can run only in the same platform. That's why we say that C is a platform dependent language. Now let us see how Python is platform independent. So Python as well as Java, they are platform independent programming languages. And because of this platform independent nature only, they are supporting portability. Portability is nothing but if you are developing code in one OS, you can run the code in different OS also. That is called as portability. In Python and Java, first we are going to use the compiler, which will be converting the source code into bytecode. And this bytecode is not an executable code. Whereas in C program, compiler converted the source code into executable code. In Python and Java, that is not the case. Compiler will be converting the source code into bytecode, which is not an executable code. And this bytecode cannot be directly executed on any operating system. So what we need for execution is, we need something called as Python virtual machine. So the bytecode should be converted into machine code with suitable virtual machine software. That software is called as Python virtual machine in Python. In Java, it is called as Java virtual machine. And if you consider this Python virtual machine, that is PVM, PVM will convert the bytecode into machine code. And this PVM is known as interpreter for the Python. If you have a PVM for Windows, that is separate software, and the PVM for Linux is a separate software, and PVM for Mac is a separate software. Okay, PVM is again an interpreter, which is nothing but a system software only. All are different softwares, so they are platform dependent. Now let us see the process with an example. First, I have a source code, that is test.py. It contains some Python statements. I'm going to first run this Python file. So yesterday we have seen that when you click run module, we can run the Python file. So now when I run the Python file, automatically it will be calling the Python compiler. We will not call the Python compiler, we will simply click the run, whereas Python compiler will be automatically called. And this Python compiler will convert the file from source code into bytecode. So the source code is having the extension as .py and bytecode is having extension as .pyc. Here pyc is nothing but Python compiled file. So the Python compiler converted the Python source code into a bytecode. Now this bytecode is platform independent. So that means that I have a bytecode. I can take the bytecode and I can run it on any machine. It can be on Windows platform or Linux platform or otherwise Mac platform. But if you see this bytecode, it is not a directly executable code. In case of .exe file, that is an executable code. But this is not a directly executable code. So what we need is, we need a software which will convert this bytecode into the machine code. We can run only this machine code. We cannot run the bytecode directly. So that software is called as Python virtual machine. So the purpose of Python virtual machine is, it will be converting the bytecode into machine code. Now, I already mentioned that this Python virtual machine is platform dependent. That means if you want to run this bytecode in a Windows machine, in that machine, you must install Windows PVM. And to run the same Python bytecode file in a Linux machine, you need Linux PVM. For running the bytecode in Mac OS, you need a PVM that is nothing but Mac PVM. So this PVM is platform dependent. But if you see this bytecode, it is platform independent. We are distributing the same bytecode to 3 different persons. One person is using Windows machine, another person is using Linux, another person is using Mac. All will be able to run their program in their own machine if the proper PVM is installed. So The process of execution is shown in this particular figure. First, we have the source code. The compiler will be converting the source code into bytecode, and then we will have the interpreter which will accept this bytecode and it will convert that into machine code. And this interpreter is also known as Python virtual machine. Now, an important question comes. Is Python compiled or interpreted? Because in the features of Python, we have seen that Python is an interpreted language. But now I told that first we will be compiling the Python program where the source code is converted into bytecode. So is Python compiled or interpreted? So actually, to understand this, we need to understand what is called as compiled language and what is called as interpreted language. So when you see that a language is compiled language, in that, when you compile the file, the compiler will be generating a separate machine code file. Okay, and then this file is a separate file which contains the machine code corresponding to the source code. And this machine code file is ready immediately after the compilation process is over. After the compilation is over, we have the compiled file now. We can take this compiled file and we can run it in the machine. So when we do this, it is called as compiled language. So two steps are involved in this. First, we are compiling the file and then we are running the program. In case of interpreted language, machine code is generated only at the runtime. That is nothing but on the spot. Whereas here, in case of compiled language, the machine code is ready as soon as the compilation is over. That is not the case in interpreted language. And languages like C, C++ are called as compiled languages. In that, first we will compile the file, then we will run the file. So it has a two-step process. In Python, first we have done compilation where we have converted the source code into bytecode. Then the program is interpreted. In that, bytecode is converted into machine code. So we will say that Python is both compiled as well as interpreted. Then why Python is called as interpreted language? In case of Python, the compiler does relatively less work than the interpreter. And the compilation process is entirely implicit. And that process is hidden from the programmer. We never invoke the compiler explicitly in our program. If it is C program, first you will compile the file, then you will run the file. But here we are not doing like that. We are simply calling run. That is, we are simply pressing the button for running the program. So we never invoke the compiler explicitly. The Python implementation compiles the files as needed. What we did is we simply run the .py file. And because of this, that is due to the lack of explicit compilation step, Python is called as interpreted language. And also, one more reason is there. Python has an interactive prompt. In the prompt, we can run every statement in Python one by one. This is not the case in case of a compiled language. In case of compiled language, the entire program will be run in a single run. Whereas in case of Python, you can even execute every statement one by one. That is possible. Because of these reasons only, Python is called as interpreted language. Now let us understand what is bytecode. Every statement in Python program is converted into a group of bytecode instructions. And the size of each bytecode instruction is 1 byte. That's why it is known as bytecode. And in Python, we have something called as dis module. And this module is helping us to analyze the CPython bytecode by disassembling into a human readable format. Now let us see one example to understand the bytecode. So here I am going to run the program from the command prompt of the Windows. So I am going to the command prompt of the Windows, then I am typing Python. Now it is displaying me the Python terminal. In that, I am going to now write the statements one by one. I am writing a program with one function called display. So this function is going to display the message welcome to Python on the screen. So I am calling the print statement to display the message welcome to Python. Now, if you want to see the bytecode of this, what we have to do is, you have to import this dis module. After that, if you call dis.dis, then you can pass the function name. Here function name is display. When you do that, it will display the bytecode. Here you are not actually seeing the bytecode, you are seeing only the instructions We have already seen that every Python statement will be converted into a group of instructions. So here in this particular file, I have only one statement, that is print welcome to Python. This is the statement I have in this. And this statement will be converted into group of bytecode instructions. So all these things are nothing but bytecode instructions. One is load global, load const, call function, and so on. These things are bytecode instructions. Particular function is going to return the bytecode of all the instructions available, and we are storing that in string. Then using a for loop, we are going to display all the information. When you do that, you will be getting your output like this. Here, for every instruction in this, that is load global, the opcode is displayed. This opcode is nothing but the bytecode.